All right. Hey guys. I am so excited. We have Betsy here, and she is one of my friends, and she is like a Pinterest guru, I promise. She's probably like, I don't think you should call me that. But she has see, but she has millions and millions of views every single month on Pinterest, and she runs a business online, and this is a good part of her business strategy. So I just want to bring her on. Betsy, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and we'll go from there.
Oh, well, thank you, Carrie, and thank you, Carrie's team, for having me here. I'm really excited. And y'all, you are so lucky to have Carrie as your leader. I'm sure you know that, but I just want to say that because she is awesome. We got to know each other and kind of buddy around, and I really appreciate her. So we're going to talk about Pinterest today. And I just wanted to, well, a little bit about me. You're probably curious who I am. Who's this girl? So I live here in Pennsylvania, and I'm in this little funny little corner of Pennsylvania where Pennsylvania and Delaware and Maryland meet. So that helps people kind of visualize where I live. And I have two kids. My kids are 8 and 10. And as you can imagine, life's crazy around here. So I'm excited to be here with you all, and I kind of want to get to know you all a little bit. So I have some questions I want to ask you as we're leading into Pinterest. So you can either type in the chat or raise your hand, whatever you're comfortable with. So how many of you have a garden? Like, do you have a garden, like a flower garden, a vegetable garden that you like to get outside in? Or maybe you like to cook. Who likes to cook? Does anybody like to cook? Do you like to eat good cooking? Um, and maybe you have some kids. Maybe you have some grandkids. Go ahead and type in the chat. Oh, okay, there's the chat. It was delayed. I'm like, these people are silent. So yeah, so you like cooking, your mom has a garden, you kill it. That's funny, Carrie. Um, Maybe you like home decorating. Maybe you like to get business tips. These are all things that you can do on Pinterest. So I see some people have kids. I know for myself, I love to go on Pinterest when my kids are driving me crazy, like when I can't get any work done. And we go and we look up like a little craft project, and it's so handy. And like my husband has a garden. So like we looked up on Pinterest how to make these raised beds. And there's all these ideas that you can get from Pinterest. And so I want you to kind of think about like your ideal client and the person that would buy your products. And Pinterest is a lifestyle channel. So she might be looking for your product, or she might be looking for some of those ideas. She might be looking for gardening tips or home decorating. So this is a really interesting way to meet new people online. If you can start to pin those types of things, and then she comes over and finds your account, and then maybe you have your products there too. So that is kind of how I do this with Pinterest. I don't pin just my products, but I pin all types of interesting things. So it's a really fun part of my business because I get to get on there and I get new recipes. You guys, we got a pretzel dog recipe on there. I hadn't had pretzel dogs in years because I have some allergies and things. And we found these pretzel dog recipes. So now we make pretzel dogs all the time for our kids. Like there's all these interesting and fun things that you can find on Pinterest. And you can get all kinds of ideas. And how many of you, do you have a Pinterest account? Just type in Pinterest in the chat if you have a Pinterest account, whether you use it for business, whether you use it for yourself. Just go ahead and type in. I'll let the chat catch up here. Class gift ideas for my son. That's a great idea. Okay, great. So you guys have a Pinterest account. Now, how many of you are using it for your business? Can you type business in the chat if you are? And it's fine if you're not. We're just kind of getting to know you here. So maybe you haven't even thought about using it for your business before. I see Carrie's using it for a business. And I've never used it for business. You're going to learn some ideas tonight. Yeah, you want to. Yes. Okay, great. So Pinterest for business is a little bit different from getting on there as a consumer. So you kind of have to think both ways because you want to be strategic, that you're not just pinning things that you like, but you want to pin things that like your ideal client would like. So you're kind of drawing her in. And then you can start to pin your product pins in there, and maybe someone would be looking for a certain product, or maybe they would be looking for more general on Pinterest, they might be looking for tips, ideas, that type of thing. So you might start to have a board that would be like weight loss tips or weight loss ideas. And then you can pin some of your products in there along with some other value added ideas. And maybe someone would find that board and start to follow you. Um, so how would someone use Pinterest? I want to back up and think about when you go online, like when you have a question, like maybe you just want to know how to make pizza dough. I don't know. I'm really random here tonight. So maybe you're wanting to know how to make pizza dough. And there's a couple places you'll probably go online. You might ask your friends, but if you're just in a hurry, you're just going to go to a search engine. You're going to either go to like Google, you might go to YouTube for like a how to, or you might go to Pinterest to get a recipe. So think about Pinterest as a search engine. And this is kind of a brain twister, because if you're used to it just using it as a consumer, you might not think of it in that way, but I like to describe it as a visual search engine. So when you go to Google, it's just a lot of words, isn't it? And when you go to YouTube, it's a lot of videos. But when you go to Pinterest, it's a lot of images. And so people will be drawn to either videos or to written text, like a blog, or they might be drawn to images. And that's the type of people that are going to love Pinterest. So that is how you can start to use it for your business, because you can start to get strategic and start to think about what types of things is my ideal client typing into Pinterest as a search engine. So if you've ever been on Pinterest before, you know there's a search bar right up at the top, and you can type in different things, and you've probably just used it for yourself. But if you start to type in things around what your product can help someone with, so whether they want to have more nutrition, whether they want to lose some weight, you can start to type those up top in Pinterest and get some ideas about the types of things that you could pin and the types of keywords you could use. And so Pinterest, then, when someone lands on the image, they have an option to kind of read the text there. But what most people will do is click on through, and that will usually take them to a blog, but you can use Pinterest without having a blog. And I'm going to tell you some tips and tricks. So I do have a question, Carrie. Are you guys able to link directly to a product page where it's tied to you? Okay,
Absolutely.
excellent. Yeah, we can do that with doTERRA too. And I actually use that a lot, because then you can start to pin your products. Like you have a nice picture that describes it, or some information, maybe a recipe that you use it in. And then you can link that to that product page. And then people can start to find you on Pinterest, even without having a blog or anything like that. So that's a little tool that you can use. And even beyond that, you can even help people find you on social media. So if you have an Instagram account, say you're using an Instagram account, and you can take your Instagram posts and link them over to Pinterest. And so, like, say you post a lot of quotes in your feed, you can pin them, start a quote board on Pinterest and pin them. And if people are pinning those quotes, then they can start to click through and find your Instagram account. So there's multiple ways you can use it for your business. And like if you have a Facebook group, I know people that use Pinterest, they just link it to their Facebook group, and that helps grow their Facebook group. They just have maybe the post that they made that week in the Facebook group, they pin it out on Pinterest and link it back to their group. And so there's a lot of different ways. So I'm going to pause, and I just want to open it up if you guys have any questions so far, because I know I tend to spew out a lot of info. So I'd like to know what questions you have so far. So you can go ahead and type in the chat or unmute yourself, whatever you're comfortable with.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Do you, I'm sorry for my accent, I speak
I can hear you. Yeah, you're fine.
Do you care about the image of your, like, because my profile on Pinterest, I've been saving like anything for years.
Yeah.
So my profile, it's like many different albums, and it's not like beautiful like
not like
on
pretty.
Instagram. So do you care about what you save in your albums, or is it like it doesn't matter?
It really doesn't matter. One thing you could do that's a little trick you can do if you want to make that look pretty when someone comes to your account is you can make an image that's like the name of that board. So maybe I have a board that's dinner recipes. You can go into Canva or PicMonkey, whatever you normally use to make your graphics, and just type that. And then each board has a unique link. And then you can link that image back to your board and make that your board cover. So you can pick any image within a board,
Cool.
and
Oh,
there's
I
like a
got
little
it.
pencil, and you can make
Board
it the board
cover.
cover.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Perfect.
awesome.
And can we have yours, like to
Oh
see
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Let me grab that.
While she's doing that, I just want to say I had graphics and I made board covers last week. Okay, I didn't make them honestly. Okay, I paid somebody to make them for me and to put them on
Yeah, that works.
so if there's a task that you really don't want to do, go to Fiverr. Okay, but the girl, she made, using the same font but really pretty pictures, she made them all look cohesive. So she just went through all my boards, made a cover. You guys can do that in like Word Swag or any app like that and just pin them on there. It looks so pretty. And okay, so I've been neglecting my Pinterest. And since I did that, I went from like 8,000 views per month last week to 45,000 per month. So it that quick, it made a difference. It really did. So
Yeah, I think it's because it is a visual platform, and so people are there. You think about going to Pinterest, like you're kind of like you're dreaming, like you're envisioning this perfect lifestyle. And that's kind of the state of mind that people are in when they go to Pinterest. They're thinking about things they want to do in the future. So maybe they're planning a vacation, maybe they're planning what they're going to wear to a special event. So that's one of the really powerful things about Pinterest as a business is you can catch them when they're kind of in that consumer mode. Like if someone's on Facebook, they're there to socialize. But if someone's in Pinterest, they're there to get ideas and get answers. So I think that's one thing that's really helped me with my business is that I did focus on Pinterest a lot, and people are typing in questions that I can then answer.
are you still taking questions?
Yeah,
Okay, I have a couple. One, how many pins should people be pinning per day?
it really depends on your own account. I would say it's more important to be consistent and get in there and pin every day if you can, but if you can't, at least a couple times a week. And it's better to maybe pin 10 a day than to go in and just pin 100 at once. So Pinterest, just like any other social media, they like when you're kind of nibbling away at their platform and you're kind of staying consistent. So I pin anywhere from like 10 to 40 a day. It just depends on, since I have a blog, I like to be promoting certain posts at different times of the year. So some times of the year, like kind of gearing up toward thinking about holidays and Christmas in the future, I'll have a lot more pins going that time of year than like in the summer when people aren't on as much. So it just kind of depends on your own account.
I like that. Okay, you guys, if you have questions, just jump in, because the questions have been great so far. I want to know. Okay, first, you guys, I have never pinned from Instagram to Pinterest. I just did it, and it is stupid easy. Like you just look at your picture on Instagram, go to those three dots, share to, and then Pinterest is one of the options, and then you can pick what board you put it on. It is so simple. And then you don't have to do anything else. It has all of it there. And when someone clicks on the picture, it goes to your Instagram account. So it's a really good way to get people to, yeah, try it now. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I did. She said that. I was like, hold on. And then I did it. So thank you for that. Changed everything for me. Now maybe I'll post on Instagram a little more. But I did want to ask you, what are things that people should not do on Pinterest? Like what mistakes do you see people making?
Well, a really common mistake would be to be like pinning stuff from another consultant, because then a lot of times we like to get ideas. So what Pinterest has is a feature called a secret board. And if you use a secret board to curate like ideas and things like that, you're not like leading the traffic away from you. If it's you can still pin from another consultant, but just pin it to a secret board. And so that's a big one that I know I see people pin my stuff all the time, and they sell doTERRA too, and they're leading traffic to me and away from themselves. And it can kind of work to your advantage if you're the one being pinned, but if you're, I sometimes kind of feel sorry for them, like, should I tell them? Like, so that would be a big one. I think another thing with Pinterest is people just don't give it enough time to work. So when a pin is, you put it out there, it can take several months or a long time before that pin can gain traction. And you have some pins that will just be a dud. They'll just never get repinned. And then others that will just go viral. So that's something that I've seen with people. They have not just given enough time. They just said, oh, it doesn't work. When for my blog, I'm pinning like 3 to 4 months out for this season. And I'm expecting it to take that much time to work. The other thing you'll want to do with Pinterest is, as much as you can, you want to get that Pinterest image sizing. And the reason for that is most people are on their phones when they're on Pinterest. So you want your pins to be big enough that it can catch your attention. So like you can pin a little square image and it might do okay, but it's really hard to see on like a tiny little phone. Like my phone, it's tiny. Like, and then Pinterest divides it, in half again. So if you get your pins, the actual Pinterest size, like whatever program you use, Canva or PicMonkey, they usually have like a suggested size that can really help. And then if you make sure the font you use is nice and clear and crisp. So some of my pins that do good, they're kind of plain looking, but they capture attention because people can actually read the text on them. So that's another thing I see a lot, is just the sizing it's actually important.
Oh, those are really good. One thing that you kind of touched on, but I really want to like hit home for you guys, make sure you send your picture somewhere, because a lot of times you'll click on a picture, it goes nowhere. That was just a wasted opportunity for you. They could have gone to your Instagram, your Facebook, your website, your blog if you have one. They could have gone anywhere. Instead, it's a dead picture and it's going nowhere. So make sure you always put that. If I'm posting like a meme or something on there, because there's a lot of memes on Pinterest, okay, I link it to my Facebook, because I figure I post memes over there too, so that works for me. Do you guys have any other questions for her?
Sorry, what's a Zoom without a kid?
What percentage? Oh, Queen Mary did it. She said it was easy and simple. It was like stupid easy.
Oh, yay.
Oh, Gabrielle has a question. That's okay.
Oh, yeah. You should definitely follow people on Pinterest. Yep, it doesn't hurt you to follow them. Like, and sometimes they'll come and follow you back. So, yeah, I follow tons of people. And then the people that you follow, that is what kind of makes up your feed. So then your feed becomes more interesting. So if your feed is interesting, you're more likely to spend time on there and to pin and to stay consistent with keeping your account active. So, Pinterest will even suggest like boards for you to follow or people for you to follow. And sometimes that's a really interesting way to find new people too.
Can you tell us about story pins on Pinterest?
Yeah, so story pins are new. But they're really good. They're like any other, like the social media channels, whenever they introduce something new, you guys know, like they're going to push that just that little bit more because it's new. So story pins really get a lot more views, and they're kind of interesting because they stay around. So they'll stay at the top of your profile. I don't know if any of you clicked over to mine. You can see I have a couple up top. I need to get more consistent with actually doing them, but they're pretty cool. And the other thing that gets a lot of traction is the video pins. So I had a fun fact I wrote down. So people watch close to 1 billion videos a day on Pinterest, and you wouldn't have thought that, right? So if you have anything that's a video, especially like if it's that format, like that long skinny, like maybe you've done a reel on Instagram or something, get it over on Pinterest, because video is doing really well on Pinterest. So basically you want to create boards where you pin stuff you like and people will look at them and look at your profile. You want to share about product opportunity in there so that people see that too when they follow you. Just want to, yeah, yep, Gabrielle, exactly. So you're just pinning like kind of a variety. So I like to think about it like as you're kind of pinning your ideal client, like her dream lifestyle. And of course your products are going to fit into there. Of course she wants them. So, you know, maybe she's decorating her home, maybe she's going on a vacation, maybe she wants to lose some weight before she goes on vacation, maybe she's, you know, with her family and she's feeling run down and she needs some extra energy, you know, so it just kind of all flows. And I think that's what I really like about Pinterest, because no matter what I'm pinning, as long as I'm just thinking about my ideal client and what would she like. And obviously, a lot of times we are our own ideal client or who we were like a couple of years ago before we found our product. So you can just kind of think like what you like is a lot of times what your ideal client likes too. Yeah, I think you can pin from TikTok to Pinterest. I think you can probably pin from about anywhere as long as it has a link that you can type in. I'm not real familiar with TikTok. Maybe Carrie can answer that.
I just tried and I can't pin from TikTok to Pinterest because it
Yeah.
said there's no video, there's no picture. But,
Oh,
but you know, when you save your TikTok, just upload it as a pin, a story pin.
that's a good idea.
Oh, well, there's my kid for the thing and her granny yelling at her, get over here, your mama's on a video. Uh, yeah, so just save it and then post it like that, you know, just like how you would repost it in your stories, stuff like that. Oh, hello. Yeah. We always TikTok, repost it in our stories, Instagram, Facebook. Now just add Pinterest to it.
There you go.
And if it has your little TikTok name, because what I don't like about the story videos on Pinterest is you can't link it anywhere.
Yeah.
Or I couldn't.
You know,
okay, good.
one thing you can do though, that I at least do, is I type out the link and put it onto the image, because then I'm like, well, if they really want to find it, I've done that before where you type in a link, at least it's on there.
Well, and I was,
yeah,
if it's on your TikTok name is on there. And I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
If I really like a TikTok I see somewhere, I go find them on TikTok just so I can
Mhm.
look at their other videos. So maybe. I want to ask you about ads. Do you ever run ads? And what do you think about them? Any tips, tricks?
I haven't gotten into it yet because I'm not maximizing my following as it is. So for my account, I need to focus more on my funnels. So like I have a big Pinterest following, but you know, I need to get more like lead magnets to my email list and more of those product pins, and just so I haven't really focused on ads. I tried Facebook ads. I didn't really get too far with those either. But
Facebook ads is a science.
yeah, I
But
think it is.
I get it. So it's not there yet. Like you have to do this, and this. And then when you've all maximized all that, then you're going to turn to ads. So
Yeah.
what I'm getting from it is how many views do you currently have right now? Like per month? Like 5 million or something I looked.
Yeah, somewhere. Let's see, 4.5 million.
How many?
4.5 million right now.
4.5 million today. So it changes all the time. So
yeah, it does really.
Got this without spending a penny.
Right. No, I've never run ads for Pinterest. I have been on Pinterest a long time. So, you know, it does take time to build a following. And the more consistent you are, the more that you can build a following.
How much of your sales do you think comes from Pinterest? Or has Pinterest in part of the equation?
No. See, that's a really tough one because my funnels are so interwoven that, like, someone might say they found me on Pinterest, but they might not even really remember where they found me. So I don't know really the percentage or anything. They just
But it's
kind of find
definitely
my blog somehow.
true. Yeah, you guys, she's a like really consistent blogger. Do you know what? Tell them about your business. Tell them what you do and how you just be specific. Like tell us how you use Pinterest with your business. And it may not be on everyone's radar. You may like do like the little parts with social media and stuff. Tell us about that. And then go in detail if you want, because some people might be interested in it.
So I'm with a direct sales company like you guys are. I'm with doTERRA essential oils. So it's also health related. And I got into that several years ago, probably about 7 years ago now. I had a ton of health issues and had a lot of luck with the product, and then started telling people all about it. And then I wanted to start to share with people in person, but then my health issues were really bad still at that time, because if you have health issues, it takes time for your body to heal. So I was still kind of in that phase where I just was too sick to really reach out to people and get together and stuff. But I still really wanted to do doTERRA because of what the oils were already doing for me. So I realized I would have to do online. And so that's where I just kind of, well, I found Brenda. I'm sure Carrie has told you about Brenda from the Sassy Suite. And so from her coaching, she said, well, Betsy, if you're going to be only online, you have to have like a blog or a YouTube channel, something where people are going to find you, that you can really provide value so people can get to know you. So I was not comfortable on video at that time. Like, I do have a YouTube channel now, but at that time, no way. So I decided to blog because that was just more comfortable to me, and I like writing and that type of thing. So I just started blogging, and I just started writing blog posts about the different products. So, I just kind of went through the product catalog, just started at A and just kind of worked my way through. And I never did get through all the products, but that's something you can do. Whether you have a blog or whether you have Sassy Direct, you can just start to blog about the products. And there's people out there that will look for those. Maybe their friends talking about them, but they're too shy to ask their friend or whatever. They just heard about it. And people find me all the time through, looking for a certain product or just looking for doTERRA in general. And they're going to find me either through Pinterest or through Google, and now sometimes through YouTube. And so then on Pinterest, what I would do is I would pin back to those blog posts. So the blog post would talk about the product, and inside the blog post, I would have the call to action to, join my group, to buy the product. And you always want to have a place that someone can connect with you elsewhere. So if you have a blog, you always want to end your blog post with like, come find me on, TikTok, or come find me in my group, or something like that. So that's kind of how my Facebook group grew. But it was kind of Pinterest was driving it. Like, people were finding these pins in Pinterest, and then they find my blog post and be interested enough to come over and join my group. And then in my group, I have further kind of nurturing content. And I don't do parties as often lately because I kind of got burnout, and I think my audience got burnout on parties, but I was doing parties at that time. Now I'm kind of, I don't know, just working in other ways. And another thing that people really like on Pinterest is recipes. So with the oils, we can make lots of different recipes, right? So diffuser blends and just different, you have to be careful with health related issues, what you can and can't say, but you can kind of, just respiratory oil blend or something like that. So a lot of my recipes is really what gets traction on Pinterest. So that's kind of how even I started to grow my email list, because I have a lead magnet that's 56 diffuser blends, and people sign up for that, and then they're on my email list, and that went kind of viral on Pinterest for me. So Pinterest also helped me grow my email list, which we actually hadn't even touched on. And that's another thing that you could do without a blog. So you would have a lead magnet, like a little ebook or a tip sheet or something that you would hook into an email program, and then you would put a pin like, get my free ebook or free tip sheet, and you would put that pin on Pinterest. So that's another idea for you guys too. And so yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. So as influencer apps, yes.
Yeah, they're an influencer app is like a Google Doc, and it's just people who are interested. It's kind of like they're applying to be on, be on our team. So you get their personal information, what social medias they're on, how much they want to make, all that kind of stuff. It's just a fancy way of getting their information. So it
Yeah.
is kind of like a lead magnet. It really is, because it sounds super fancy.
Yeah, it does. I was like, ooh.
She's like, I need one of those. Can I fill it? Um, okay, so I want to. Is there anything else you guys have? Any other questions? Anything?
Well, they're thinking of another question. I did want to drop this in because we didn't really talk about Pinterest for business, and that's also big. So if you guys have anything that you post about, like maybe you post social media tips, or maybe you post about your business, or how to do parties or anything like that, those are great things to pin, because all types of people are out looking on Pinterest, like direct sales opportunities and things like that, that you can also, people can also find you through Pinterest and Google and things like that. I had a lady the other day that I was on a phone call with, that she found me through, well, actually, she found me through Google and my YouTube channel, but there are other people have found me through Pinterest too. So that's another type of content that you can be pinning, is just things like that, like business tips and social media tips, to kind of draw in that type of person too. Her mind's blown. That's cute.
I think Brenda has a question. Her hand's up.
Okay, go ahead, Brenda.
Yeah, I know it's behaving. The question is, Facebook and Instagram will never let us link our It Works website
Right.
to them. Can we do this on Instagram, or do we just do the cheat way and keep putting it in photos when people want to know what it is? Thank you.
Yeah, you should be able to link on Pinterest, because Pinterest is built around that idea of idea curation, and they want people to be able to go find ideas. So Pinterest is different in the other social media platforms. I know what you mean. Like every time I post a link in Facebook anymore, it puts it as like a sales thing, and it flags it, and it doesn't let it post. It's super annoying. Pinterest doesn't do that. They understand that they're just kind of, remember we talked in the beginning, like they're a search engine. So a search engine's goal is to give people what they want and send them to the blog where they can get the idea, or the product where they can buy the product. So yeah, you definitely would want to pin those.
Okay. Anything else that you guys have?
You know how you're talking about like creating that email connection way or whatever? Like you set up a whole new email for people to connect to you with to get tips or anything like that, or you can connect them straight to an email you already use?
Yeah, I would do the one you already use. Yeah.
Okay. And you would just connect that
Oh, we
email
can
address.
totally have a whole class on that. Seriously, we can. So like Betsy can give a couple tips, and then if you want, like me and you, we can do that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Betsy,
Yeah.
give a couple tips about that email list.
Yes. So building an email list, it's a little different from like your, email where you chat with your friends. This would be like where you would actually use a program. Like I use MailerLite, but there's lots of different programs. And then you can kind of send out the email, like a mass email, to your whole list. And that's what I mean by like building your email list. And then people don't want to just sign up for a list. Like they want to get something. So that's what I'm meaning, like a lead magnet. So like a little ebook, or actually let me, I'll just type in mine that I was talking about. Sometimes it's easier to just see something. So it gives you like a little page. Let's see. Waiting on my computer here. But basically it'll give you a little page that you type in your email, and then that puts someone on your list. So let's go down here. My computer's really thinking. I wonder if it's because it's on Zoom, it's like slow down.
Okay, it looks like we're going to have a we're going to have an growing your email list and setting up your email list Zoom.
Yeah. Okay, so I got this, and that's just the diffuser blend. So that's the one that you'll see inside the ebook if you grab it, that I took 56 diffuser blends, and then each diffuser blend is a Pinterest pin. And that's why the thing went viral for me. So if you have something with one of your products that you could somehow do like 56 tips about, I don't know, 56 is a lot. I'm excessive. Maybe 10 tips about. But then each
Is everybody frozen or is it just her? It's just
I
her.
think
Okay.
her.
So I totally just signed up for her ebook. And did you guys see how easy that was? So an email list is where you use a program, something like a database, to store all these emails and to get people on there. You see it all the time. You guys subscribe to all, oh, she's gone. You guys subscribe to all sorts of emails. Don't you get on a bunch of email lists? Like, I mean, when's the last time you got an email from Target, right? You're on all kinds of email lists. So you put it out there, and whatever database you're using does all this for you. Like you put it, they're like, do this, do this, do this. And you put out like a lead magnet, like she did, that link right there. And that was for her fall diffuser blends. And I actually just signed up for that because that looks very fascinating for me. And because when I did that, I ended up on her list for that particular thing. So now when she's probably going to send me an email every single week with links to her stuff, information about her, information about products, and she's going to warm me up, and I just know I'm probably going to buy something from her because that's what I do. So that's what an email list is, which is totally not the topic of this Zoom, but it is actually very interesting. Okay, so I hope she comes back because she has something special for us. You know what? I'm gonna end the recording because otherwise I'm babbling to fill in time. So we don't need to capture that. So bye, people watching the recording. Betsy's coming back. She's gonna give us a special bonus. I know she is. So bye. All right, where's my